Good day, Nigeria, and let me tell you about something that has gotten everyone talking across the country. The Katsina state government has just made a decision that is raising eyebrows and generating serious conversations from the streets of Katsina to the living rooms of Lagos. They have announced that they are releasing 70 people who were suspected of being involved in banditry, and the reason they are giving is that this is part of their strategy to maintain peace with armed groups in the state. Now, before you jump to any conclusions, let me break down everything that is happening so you can understand the full picture of this developing situation. Katsina State, as many of you know, has been one of the states in the northwest that has suffered heavily from banditry activities. These armed groups have terrorized communities, kidnapped people, rustled cattle, and made life unbearable for many residents. Families have been displaced, schools have been shut down, and economic activities have been disrupted because of the insecurity. The government has tried many approaches over the years, from military operations to dialogue initiatives, and this latest move is clearly part of their dialogue strategy. According to the state government, these 70 suspects are being released as part of an ongoing peace deal with the armed groups operating in the area. Now, the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs in Katsina State has explained that this is not just a random decision or something they did without thinking it through. He stated that the release is connected to a peace agreement that the government has been working on with repentant bandits. The idea behind this approach is that by showing goodwill and releasing these suspects, the government hopes to encourage more armed group members to lay down their weapons and embrace peace. The commissioner emphasized that those being released have gone through a process and that the government believes this step will help to consolidate the peace efforts in the affected communities. But as you can imagine, this news has generated mixed reactions across the country. Some people are questioning whether releasing suspected bandits is the right approach to dealing with insecurity. They are asking important questions about justice for the victims of banditry, about whether this sends the right message to criminals, and about the effectiveness of these peace deals in the long run. There are families who have lost loved ones to banditry attacks, people who have been displaced from their homes, and communities that are still living in fear. For these people, the idea of releasing those suspected of being involved in these crimes can feel like a slap in the face, like their suffering is being overlooked in the name of peace. On the other hand, there are those who support the government's approach and believe that dialogue and reconciliation might be the only way to end the cycle of violence. They point to the fact that military operations alone have not completely solved the banditry problem, and that perhaps a combination of security measures and peace initiatives is what is needed. These supporters argue that if releasing these suspects can lead to more bandits surrendering their weapons and returning to normal life, then it might be worth considering as part of a broader strategy. They also mention that similar approaches have been tried in other parts of the country with varying degrees of success. The Katsina state government has been implementing what they call a peace and reconciliation program for some time now. This program involves dialogue with repentant bandits, offering them amnesty if they surrender their weapons, and sometimes providing them with support to reintegrate into society. The government has said that many bandits have actually surrendered under this program and that it has helped to reduce the level of violence in some areas. However, critics of this approach say that without proper accountability and justice mechanisms, these peace deals might just be temporary solutions that do not address the root causes of banditry. And if you are enjoying this breakdown of what is really happening, please take a second to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss any updates on important stories like this one, because we are committed to bringing you the real gist on everything happening in Nigeria. The release of these 70 suspects also raises questions about the rehabilitation and monitoring process. What happens after they are released? Is there a system in place to ensure they do not return to criminal activities? Are there programs to help them reintegrate into society productively? These are questions that many Nigerians are asking because they want to see concrete plans that will ensure lasting peace and security. The government says that there are measures in place and that those released will be monitored, but many people are waiting to see how effective these measures will be in practice. What makes this situation even more interesting is that it is happening at a time when the federal government is also intensifying security operations across the Northwest. There have been increased military deployments, aerial bombardments of bandit camps, and coordinated efforts between different security agencies. So we have this situation where on one hand there are military operations targeting bandits, and on the other hand there are peace initiatives and releases of suspects. Some people see this as a balanced approach that combines force with dialogue, while others see it as a contradiction that might confuse the overall security strategy. For the communities affected by banditry, what they want most is safety and the ability to return to their normal lives. They want to farm their lands without fear, send their children to school, and sleep peacefully at night. Whether this release of suspects will contribute to achieving that goal or whether it will backfire remains to be seen. The coming weeks and months will be crucial in determining whether this peace deal approach will yield the desired results or whether adjustments will need to be made to the strategy. So, what do you think about this decision by the Katsina state government? Do you believe that releasing these suspects as part of a peace deal is a wise move that could lead to lasting peace, or do you think it is too risky and might undermine justice for victims? How would you feel if you were a resident of one of the affected communities? These are important conversations that we all need to have as Nigerians because security affects all of us. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below and let us know where you stand on this issue, because your opinion matters in shaping how we think about these critical national issues.